Okay, so with the success of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre video game, I thought it would be good to go back and revisit some old memories, some old nostalgia in the franchise, starting off with Texas Chainsaw 3D. And now, this is the film I have the fondest memories watching, and I've seen probably the most in this franchise. Whenever I do watch 3D, I always have a blast with this film. You know, I've always enjoyed, you know, the new modern look to the film. I've always enjoyed how, you know, creative the kills are. I've enjoyed the chase scenes. I've enjoyed, you know, Leatherface, you know, just hacking and slashing people up. You know, this film has always been, you know, my Texas Chainsaw film. This is the one, you know, whenever I was in a Texas Chainsaw mood, 3D would always be the one that I put on. And now, following on from that, I'm not well immersed in the Texas Chainsaw franchise. I've seen the original 1973 film by Tobe Hooper. I've seen the two Michael Bay Platinum Dune produced films, and I've seen 3D. But I haven't seen, New Beginning and, you know, like, and all these other, you know, films that are in this franchise. This is a franchise that, you know, I've heard a lot about. I heard in one of them, Leatherface becomes a woman. So, you know, there's that. I've heard just after the second film, this franchise goes into like a Freddy's Dead territory, where it becomes like, you know, so bad that it's actually, you know, sad to see Leatherface being betrayed this way. But, you know, I haven't actually, you know, sat down and actually, you know, formed my own opinion on these films. It's just, you know, looking at the sequels, looking at the poster art, you know, they really don't look like my kind of films that I am particularly, you know, interested in. But, you know, this might be a fun franchise, you know, just kind of, you know, like have a few beers too, and, you know, and enjoy, you know, like enjoy that cheesy, and enjoy, you know, that cheesy kind of tone to these films. And, you know, like, yeah, that's the thing is, I just, you know, I don't see a Texas Chainsaw film really working as being, you know, very kind of tongue-in-cheek, you know, just, you know, silly film. I just, you know, I can't see it working like that. So, yeah. But anyways, yeah, jumping into Texas Chainsaw 3D, I rewatched this film the other night, and it finally dawned on me that this film is really, really fucking bad. This is a really shockingly dreadful film. I don't know what had happened, but I don't know if I had a bad day that day, or I do not know what happened, but it finally dawned on me that this film is really bad. I haven't seen this film, you know, in a few years, so keep that in mind. So I guess, you know, my film taste has evolved a bit. So, you know, and maybe I went into this viewing, you know, a bit more critical than my last few viewings. But this film is really fucking bad. But saying that, however, like, amongst all of the bad that is Texas Chainsaw 3D, the film does have some redeeming qualities. And to start off this review, to get the ball rolling, I'm going to start off with the positives and go into the negatives. So, the biggest positive I can give Texas Chainsaw 3D is the chicks in the film are really attractive. We have Alexandra Daddario, and we have her really hot, you know, slutty friend, you know, who's having an affair with, you know, with Alexandra Daddario's, you know, boyfriend and all that. And, you know, she's the one, you know, who's sleeping with, you know, with every guy in this house and all of that. Like, you know, every shot of them walking away from the camera is a shot of their behind walking away from, you know, from the camera. And, you know, and there's scenes, you know, where they're not wearing any shirt, and, you know, but, like, you know, that's eye candy for us. You know, that's the positive I took away from this film is how hot the chicks are. If you are to comment on Texas Chainsaw 3D, the chicks are one of the things that you will be watching this film for. Like, you're going to be, you know, cheering for the chicks just because, you know, they're one of the only good things, you know, about this movie, and you want them to survive just so you can, you know, continue staring at their tits for the entire film. And yeah, you know, Alexandra Daddario, I think, is extremely attractive, and I think she is really good looking in this film. And her friend, I thought, you know, she was just like, you know, the definition of like, you know, of like a love interest, you know, come to life. Like, this is like, you know, this is like the dream woman that you want. Like, you know, as far as looks wise, you know, she has like a, you know, a very tight, you know, tank top, you know, like her, you know, her breasts are like popping out, you know, like we have that type of character here. And, you know, yeah, they're both really attractive, and that's the biggest positive I took away from this film. Luckily, Alexandra Daddario is our final girl, and, you know, she does add a lot to this role, and she does give off probably the best performance in the entire film. Besides that, there's a really good amusement, you know, chase sequence that has a Saw fucking reference in it, which I really enjoyed, because I believe this was actually from the writers of Saw, or the producers, one of the two. And so, you know, that I really like, you know, that instantly, you know, goes up on my positive list. Like, as soon as you address Saw, like, you immediately have my interest. You, yeah, you've immediately already, you know, gone up, you know, 2 bars on my list already. So, Leatherface looks really good in this movie. Like, as far as, you know, face look and just, you know, like how buff he is, like, yeah, this guy, if you saw him running towards you in the middle of the night, you would not want to fuck with him. You would not want to fuck with him. And so, you know, I think the Leatherface in him is intimidating. I think all of Leatherface's scenes of him hacking and slashing people up, I think, you know, is really good. Yeah, so, you know, there's that. The kills are really graphic and brutal, I can say that. Like, I mean, the kills in the film aren't good, but there's definitely, you know, a lot of gore in the film. So, yeah, you know, take that as what it is. And that's about where I draw the line with the positives in this film. And now, jumping right into the negatives is the characters, the fucking characters in this film. Oh my fucking god. They are the dumbest pieces of shit I've ever seen on screen. Like, if they see Leatherface, like, they will literally fucking run towards him, and just, they forget every rule and law of a horror film ever. And it's like these characters want to fucking die. These characters want to fucking die. Like, that's the only way that makes sense to me. Because these characters do shit that is so fucking dumb. It is just baffling. It's like, it's not so much a problem in the first act of the film, but second act in particular, it is excruciating to watch these fucking characters. Like, at this point, you're just watching them and waiting for them to get picked off one by one. Like, you want to see fucking Leatherface tear them, you know, tear them to shreds. I was waiting for that. I was praying that every single one of these dumb motherfuckers would just die and drop dead. That's what I was hoping. And I'm so glad that's what happened. Second negative of the film is Alexandra Daddario's character. Okay, girl, you are attractive. You are attractive. What you saw in this script was fucking horrible. I am so sorry, but, you know, I mean, you know, I love Alexandra Daddario. You know, she's great in True Detective, but her character in this film is just awful. Okay, let me recall what happened in this film. So, yeah, you know, she learns about her past, you know, which is all good and fine. But then, you know, Leatherface comes into the picture and starts tearing your friends to pieces. And then at the end of the film, here you go, cuz. Yeah. You throw Leatherface his fucking chainsaw right at the moment of his death. Are you kidding me? Are you literally kidding me? Don't you recall what Leatherface did for the last fucking 45 minutes of the movie? He killed your friends. He killed your friends. Did you forget about that part? Did you forget about that part? And, you know, Leatherface was even chasing you at the beginning of the movie. And somehow you were just so forgiving. And you were so, you know, bought into this shitty script. That, like, oh, Leatherface is like, he's my fucking cousin, he's my brother, or whatever. I don't give two shits. I don't give two shits. Like, yeah, so if I went to Leatherface and asked him and told him that, I'm your cousin, he would just instantly believe me. Leatherface is a dumb motherfucker in this movie. As much as I like seeing all of his scenes, he is a dumb motherfucker in this movie. But Alexandra Daddario's character, and, her being a final girl, like, why? Why no logical human being would show the person who has just slaughtered all your friends. And that's the other thing. Alexandra Daddario's performance is dull at the end of this film. Because, after all of her friends died, she isn't crying. She just goes about by her day. Are you kidding me? There's no fucking emotion from this chick. There's no emotion from her in this movie. She has the exact same face all throughout the goddamn fucking runtime. You are a dumb motherfucker. Your character is dumb as shit. Okay. Okay, I think I got a bit, carried away there, but just the decisions, that, that twist, that line, the whole, like, here you go, cuz. That got on my nerves. And another thing that pissed me off in this movie is the CGI. This film feels like a fucking Wrong Turn film. This film feels like a Wrong Turn film, just at how low budget it feels. Because, there's, all of the kills in this film can be done easily by practical effects. And somehow you think it is funny to show really shitty CGI in the film. Like, the CGI is awful. There's an awful scene at the end when the fucking, sheriff or government, or I don't know who the fuck it was. I didn't care to know any of these goddamn characters now. But one of them gets tossed into, like, this blade machine, that chops his body to bits. And as it's squirting blood, it looks so fake. It looks so fucking fake. And just nothing feels real in this film. Like, all of the kills, like, actually, no, speaking of kills, that's another thing I heard about this movie, is the kills. They are graphic, yes, but they aren't creative. We've seen all of these kills done better in the first Texas Chainsaw film. This film came out in 2013. You could at least deliver, some interesting fucking Leatherface action or kills or just something. It's the basic shit we've already seen. Leatherface putting someone onto a hook. We've seen it. Him chopping someone's fucking, from the waist down off. We've seen it. We've seen it. We've seen it. We've seen it. Like, oh my god, the kills. It's nothing creative. I mean, oh my god, this film is just so fucking bad. This film is really so bad. I guess like the history with bloody the whole sheriff's department, having a grudge against the fucking Leatherface's family. I mean, that's an interesting subplot. and it's an interesting story take, but the way it is executed is to shit. Actually, the opening of this film is really cool. You know, it's a throwback right to Toby Hooper's film. You know, it's a love letter to it. I love, you know, the attention to detail. It is perfect. It is perfect. Best part of the scene by far. That opening scene. Really great. What else is there to say? There is really nothing else to say about this film. There's a few kills in this film that are satisfying to watch. I can maybe give it that. There's a guy who, you know, steals all like the plates and fucking candles and, you know, whatever this crazy motherfucker can find, he steals. And later, you know, he gets knocked on the head by a hammer by Leatherface. That was a satisfying kill because, you know, that guy is just a bitch. So, you know, his kill was great to watch. The sheriff's kill, of course, was like the most satisfying death of the entire movie. And also, what's his name? Bloody, Ice Cube, 50 Cent. You know, I don't care to know these actors' names, but, you know, the black character in the film, Kanye West, I don't know what his name is, but he cannot act for shit. He cannot act, you know, to save his life. He's better at singing than he is at acting. So yeah, stick to singing, buddy. I think that's where your strong point is. Acting, yeah, not so much, buddy. So, yeah, that really does it. That really does it. That's my round on Texas Chainsaw 3D. This film is just a big fuck you. Fuck this movie. I'll happily watch the first act of this film. I'll happily watch it. Because there's one thing in there that I get to watch again. And that is, I get to see, you know, Alexandra Daddario without a shirt on. That's something I want to watch again. And I get to see, you know, like her really slutty friend, get undressed at the back of the van. I'll happily watch those scenes again. I'll happily see them walk away from the camera and see them walk away, like ass first away from the camera. I'll happily see all those shots again. So I'll watch the first like 20 minutes of this film. That's it. Everything else can just go fuck itself. Toss yourself in the garbage. You deserve in like a $2 bin. Like not even like in a supermarket. You deserve to be put in a bloody, like in a really dusty corner in a big W. That's where this film deserves to be, and that's where it should stay. Anyways, that's my rant on Texas Chainsaw 3D. Thank you everyone for attending, and I'll catch you in the next review.